Hello and welcome to the Build With Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the emote in the chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can apply with the Bear Cave and the Lego emote. If you're a tier 2 subscriber, you get that cool site emote and you can apply with that as well. Hope everyone's doing excellent on this fine Monday evening. And I'm saying that so that I remember that it's Monday, because sometimes I don't remember. Lashberg is here. Dirty is here. Welcome to both of you. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. We're going to hang out here in the intro zone, the small zone here in the beginning. Jam is here. Welcome, Jam. And as we wait for people to trickle in, to kind of be like, oh, I got the notification that Pat's live. I'm going to go see what's up. Or, oh, it's after 9 p.m. Eastern. I should go check in on Pat's stream, see what he's doing. Tonight, we're working on the AE86. It is the car from Initial D. Harold's here. Welcome, Harold. Happy to have you here, my friend. This is a glue kit. Traditionally, back before the snap kits became popular, you would have glue kits. Or if you were doing like a resin mold or something, you would need glue to adhere that. Now, you would use some sort of glue or cement. And now we use liquid cement. So I've got my Testors liquid cement right here. It's a Rust-Oleum product, and it has a little bit of a little brush here, an applicator, and we will be applying some liquid cement to pieces to adhere them together, because this is a car kit, and that is traditionally how you assemble cars. Now, there are some cars out there that are snap kits, but they're not as popular because it is a traditional thing that if you're building a car, you're going to use liquid cement. And this car mold, this is a known car, the AE86 or the AE86 Treno, is a car, popular car, so it has a model for it. And then you can repackage that with some facts about Initial D, the anime. In this case, having Takumi as a driver, although he is not painted, and having stickers on the side, much as the car did for the delivery service, and then the front and rear license plates are the Initial D logo, and that is very fucking cool. I'm a big fan of that. So we will be assembling the car and its components. We will be doing step by step on everything that we need to do to make this happen. And I am looking forward to all of that. This kit, does it require paint? I mean, no, it doesn't require it. Does it want paint? Yeah. We'll be using some markers to help with that. Now, the thing I'm most excited about, and I talked about this as I was kind of doing the prep for, is when I built this before, which was a different model kit of this. It was a smaller. This is a 124 scale. So I believe I had a 126 scale the previous time. There were other things that this is a better version of, and that is this. We can make the two-tone. When I originally built this kit, a different version of this kit, it was all white. Everything was white. And that's not the car. That's not what we think when we think of the 86. We think about it having a black hood and having some of the side panels be black. The two-tone, the panda colors, as it is often referred to. So we will be building it that way. Any chance we have to use black instead of the white, we will do. Now, some of that would also want me to use paint to do that, which we will not be doing. So it won't be pure. We won't really nail it because this is still a white frame here. So the bottom sections of here that I would like to have be black won't be. So it won't be a full two-tone the way I would like it to be. But it will be closer to it than we got the previous time I worked on a kit similar to this. When I purchased this kit, fun fact, I bought this from Gundam Planet, and their notes on it, the information on the kit was inaccurate and said that it was a snap kit, so I immediately purchased it. I would have still bought it, and I'm still happy that I'm building this on stream with all of you. But it was disappointing to find out that it was a kit that I would use liquid cement for instead of a snap kit, because that sounded fucking cool. Unfortunately, that is not the case. So we will be going into we will be doing this. Things we will remember as we build. We will remember that anytime I am dealing with the chrome pieces, there are not many of them, but there are some chrome pieces here. We will endeavor to make sure that we are scraping the outsides of those pieces to prevent, because there's more chrome here. We're going to be trying to prevent it from popping off from the kit, because the chromed pieces here are not going to want to adhere to the liquid cement. And when we get into cementing, I will talk about what the actual, what it is, what's happening there, the chemical reaction that we are causing. We'll get into that if you're new to that. And then at the end of it, we'll apply, the end of the build, we will apply some decals. And we, of course, both water slide and regular stickers. And then we will try to panel line it to see if that will help bring it to life a little bit more. But we're going to get into the build now in just a moment. I'm going to retweet my tweet, see if we can get a few more friends to join us tonight. And if not, that's okay. If we do have more friends, that's rad as hell. Also, if you would like to subscribe, I would love to have you using your Prime Gaming Token or Cash Money. The goal is to hit 50 subscribers. We are currently at 40 subscribers, and that's okay. If we don't hit it 50 tonight, I'm not expecting us to hit 50 tonight. But if you'd like to gift a sub to someone in the community, or you'd like to become a subscriber, that would be great, and I would welcome you with open arms. But anyway, retweeting the tweet, want to put that out there. That is the goal, is to hit 50 subscribers. And let's get into it with some Plamo, because we can't say we're doing Gunpla. It is a plastic model kit, so it's a Plamo. AE86. So we'll put the instructions to the right here. A thing. Let's see if you can see there. In the instructions, there are dotted lines, arrows, and solid arrows. And the solid arrow means apply liquid cement here, and the dotted is do not apply liquid cement. And that does include that information here in the instructions, along with a tutorial on little instructions on using water slide decals, which is helpful. There's also a paint guide here for those that are painting along, of like what parts to paint, and it does also clearly say where you should be removing the extra pieces, the little extra chrome parts here, or just plastic parts, which is helpful. So we're going to go and we're going to be doing, here's another thing. If you missed the last time I did a kit like this, which by that I mean a car kit, I understand like a chassis, the brakes, tires, engine. I got big concept parts there. Radiator. Like, I understand some things, but a lot of times it's going to be like, oh, we're going to build this part. Like, I'm going to say that probably quite a bit because I don't know a lot about cars. Lord Crashington just subscribed a tier 1 that's 27 months saying, hey, Pat, hope things are going well. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much, Lord Crashington. Thank you for your tier 1, and thank you for 27 months. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site emote in the chat. Throw those emotes in there. Lord Crashington, thank you. I appreciate the kind words, and I appreciate your continued support. All right, so we'll basically finish one of these, and then we'll do the other, but I am going to pull the parts out for both parts of this. I believe these are like the brake pads is what we're putting together. Like I said, I don't know a lot about cars. I'll be very careful with some of this. Okay, so what is liquid cement? You're saying, Pat, You keep saying liquid cement. I don't know what that means. Why am I not using glue? Well, it is a style of glue. Basically, we are going to be creating a chemical reaction with these plastics where we're actually melting the top layers of this plastic. And then we are putting pressure on the two pieces so that when they dry, they adhere together, creating a strong bond. Now, will these fall apart? Will these bonds break? Yes. Will it happen while I am building? Yes. Because it could be due to patience. It could be due to how I am adhering the parts and they're being like I'm putting pressure on it, but it's not long enough. There's various reasons. Could it be negligence on my part? Certainly. There are, I would say, a number of reasons or ways that this could go very wrong. And we will do our damnedest to make sure that they don't go wrong and that we end up with a real good time and we're feeling real good about what we're doing. You can see here we've got, these are the parts that are chrome. So I will use a pad here, a sanding stick, to rough up the sections that the parts that will be connected. I'll do a test fit and then I will rough them up. Actually, this is the wrong piece, so we'll put that aside. I fucked up already, but that's not a big problem. Okay, so we'll put that there. That's going to go, that's number 33, and then 32 is the other one. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be taking my time with any time it says like glue this. I'll be taking my time with it. Like the next step is going to be like taking these sections and adhering them. So I want to give myself time for this glue to settle. We also have to remove the extra parts here that are unnecessary. So we will be clear on that. And of course, because we're using liquid cement, if we end up breaking a piece or something like that, we can hopefully repair using the liquid cement that we have. This is great. Okay, so clean this up like that. Removed our extra little nubbins. And the test fit will be, this is going to go in through here. It does not require glue. So that is going to go in through here. And then this part is going to go here and it will lock in place. And then the part of the chrome will adhere to this part here. And that will be glued. And this part will not be glued. So what I need to do is I'm going to sand all of this section here, because this needs to be roughed up so that the liquid cement will actually do its work, because the chromed pieces here will not adhere properly on their own. And it is labeled, which is great. And I'll be doing that basically for every chrome piece. There. You could certainly use sandpaper for something like this. You could score it with a knife, or if you didn't mind if you were very careful, because you could theoretically ruin the piece by putting gouges in it, and that would certainly make it difficult to adhere. All right, so we've roughed it up. It's going to be very hard for y'all to see this, but please believe me when I say it is a different, clearly different texture-wise and color-wise. So that is a good indication. So this is going to go here. This is going to go here. This is going to go through this. So we'll start by doing that. We'll push this through. And then, okay. We'll take our liquid cement. And this is our first go with liquid cement. Literally the first step involves that. So we are going to apply it fairly liberally to this part here. We will give it a second to start doing its work, but we don't want to give it too long because it will dry quickly. And then we are going to take our components here. It should look, we're making sure that we're doing it right, because it is difficult to fix unless you go ahead and break the chemical reaction. And then we will slide this in and we will press it together. So I'm going to hopefully not damage anything, but we are applying even pressure to this where I have put the liquid cement in the hopes that we get a good seal and everything works out the way we would like it to. Once again, the middle part there, I did not glue that there. I just glued the other sides. And then, okay, that has not adhered anywhere. This did, which we don't want. So what we'll do instead here is we are going to, all right, we are going to apply the liquid cement more liberally to the chrome section. Now, I may have to rough it up again. I don't know. But we're just going to apply more liquid cement. We might go a bit overboard with the liquid cement. And that's fine. I get on my fingers, that's okay. The real thing I want to avoid is when we start dealing with the clear plastic, I have to be very careful about applying liquid cement around the clear plastic because it will melt a little bit and then it will show. And in fact, one of the kits I built had a fingerprint on it that I had to buff out, and it didn't look great. Okay, so I applied more liquid cement. I am now with my hands here holding this and attempting to put pressure on it to induce a chemical reaction that will mean that we do not have to continue to keep doing this, and we can move on to step two of part one, the second half of part one. Let's see. Tonight in the second hour, I'm going to talk about manga. I'm only going to talk about one anime. And I'll explain why that happened is because I didn't watch anything today. I watched one show yesterday and actually stopped watching it during it because I did not enjoy it. So I'll talk briefly about that show. And then today, I was going to watch the second episode of the Vampire Dies in No Time. But I didn't get around to it because I unexpectedly had a job today. I had a project with a tight turnaround. I am working for a company right now doing, all right, this is looking good. We can put this aside and we can do the other component here. So we will prepare it. We will buff again, and then we will apply the stickers, or sorry, the pieces together to adhere. Yes, indeed. So one of the many contract work jobs that I have right now is I work for a company where I am doing small little tasks for them. I'm one of many people that do tasks that, should they have a part-time or full-time employee doing all these tasks? Yes. Is it easier for them to just have freelancers who will do busy work when it comes up? And if yes, the nice thing is people just say no all the time, right? They send it out to a couple people, and then folks are busy and can't do it, or they're like, yeah, but not in the time frame. And I say yes to things because they are easy projects. Right now, most of it is data entry or updates. So it's like, hey, we've got this PowerPoint, but it says 2021 on it, and we need to start saying 2022 because it's like projections. And hey, this data is old and this data is wrong, and the last person actually put this in incorrectly. And so it's a lot of like PowerPoint or recreating things and then saving them as PDFs and sending them out to a bunch of people. It's busy work. Maybe it's intern work, maybe it's third assistant work, whatever it is. It's stuff that they just have freelancers do, and I am one of those contracted people that does those jobs. Most of the time it is very mindless. Occasionally I get to be a little creative, but rarely is it creative. And for the most part, it's easy. Today I worked on a project that basically had a 3-hour turnover, so it was supposed to be a 3-hour turnover, and then while I was working on it, they were like, hey, actually, we don't need this until like tonight, so it's okay. So I would have actually had time to watch something, but instead I worked almost right up until the stream because I didn't get because I got it, but then like had to eat and then had another thing I had to do. So it took a little while for me to get to have the time to suddenly do this project, which is fine. it ended up working out okay. But yeah, that took up a lot of my time tonight. Updating data in a bunch of PDFs. Well, the original docs, then sending them out as PDFs. Luckily, I had the original documents. But of course, also a fun thing that I was not told until I got the project. Um, the original documents hadn't been updated, sorry, the original documents had been updated, but I didn't get some of those updates. So I had to cross reference PDFs that were out of date, but the documents were also out of date. So that was very fun to do a bunch of cross referencing. That was actually a big component of this job. Was was like, oh, actually, so you need to input all this data, but also this other data may not be right. So can you double check all of this? And it ends up being completely fine. It was just busy work. Honestly, these gigs are very simple and are just extra little work. But they're not customer service, so I welcome them. And you can have music on or a podcast or whatever. And often I will have something like, hey, we need this, this, and this done by this date. And sometimes I just go, yes. And then I don't do it for 2 days. But this one was a tight turnover. And we have applied. Great. We are done with step 1. Hooray. We have finished step 1. And now we can move on to step 2, which is attach these to piece 3. Don't miss the directions of the 3, which is to cut off these extra nubbins. And then it's a straight line, which means gluing. Now, do I understand what this piece is? I mean, it's not real springs on it, so I can kind of guess. That's all I'm doing here is just like, I don't know. It's a bar that goes across this thing, and then things are attached to it. I get it, I guess. Hey, we just got a new subscription with Twitch Prime. That's Captain Andy Pants. Thank you so much. Captain, yeah, it's a Cap Dandy Pants. Cap Dandy Pants. Thank you so much. Let's throw the Barricade Lego the site emote in the chat and thank our new subscriber. Welcome. Looks like you're making an axle, says Lashbrook. You know what, Lashbrook? Sure. Because these are small little things, we will be separating here. I'm going to be separating this and then in fine detail going in and making these removals here. Okay, great. And then we have to remove the nubbins. And this will tell me, this is going to go on like this. This is the way it'll attach. It'll attach like this to this part here, which is the left, and this is the right. And it's going to be attaching here, right here, and I will be adhering this with liquid cement because it is a solid line. So we'll be doing that. Of course, we'll remove the nubbins. Oh, I got to update this to 41. 40s. We don't have the air conditioning on right now. It's a little warm here in this room, which is fine because it also means the window is open and that's good for ventilation. Now I always try to put the cap back on here and screw it on in between each application to keep the Rust-Oleum liquid cement from being in the air, but I think it'll be okay. Lastbrook says, I don't understand the concept. Do you mean the concept of how cars work and the components, or the concept of using liquid cement to adhere plastics together? I don't know what you mean. If you're saying, Lastbrook, that you're like, I don't understand how cars work, then great, because I don't either. But if there's another thing you don't understand, then maybe I can help. Oh, not having the AC on. Oh, yeah. Lastbrook, I get that. Okay, that's what you meant. Yeah. Look, because it's October, it's finally kind of cool here. It's not cold yet. This is not hoodie weather yet. But it is open the windows to let fresh air in because that's nice, I guess, weather. And that's fine. I'm not, like, it's not my call. I am in the hottest room in the house, unfortunately, because, well, for various reasons, including the fact that I have this computer kicking out heat a lot, which I don't love, but whatever. We're still hitting 80 a couple times here in Ohio. Yeah, no, we're in the 70s right now. It was overcast today, and frankly, lovely. It was lovely out. It looked like it was going to rain and then never did, which is fine. We're at the point now where I don't have to water the front pots twice a day, which is awesome. It's very good that I don't have to water that all the time. All right, so I'm just applying the liquid cement here to where these are going to adhere, and then I'm going to lightly connect them and then hope that we do this properly. We'll see. We'll see if I can do this properly. Okay, liquid cement has been adhered. We are getting ready. I'm going to attach one of these things now and attach the other. And then I'm going to use my thumbs to press them and my fingers to press this together so that we can theoretically create a seal that will not come apart. The smell of liquid cement is such a trigger of sense memory. Yeah. Oh, last work is hitting the 90s still. Yeah, we're not there. We're in the 70s. There might be another heat wave coming through. Who knows? But yeah, the liquid cement, like every time I use it, it does have this kind of like familiar smell. Um, it's not a bad one, but it is strong, and I certainly would like to have ventilation when using it. So having a window open is preferable. All right, so that looks good. That looks good. We are going to keep this. I'm going to keep the pressure on here for a little while. If I remember correctly, this is where things did go wrong previously and they need to be repaired. And also, I can fucking do that, and I'm not like scared of that. Like if things go weird, that's fine. I'm going to set this aside for a moment here, and we'll move on to step 3. And I think that'll be okay. Oh yeah, because that's going to go in, and then that's going to go in, and we got some springs. So I'm going to be reading this here. All right, so I got to get our chassis here, which is we'll get the chassis together here. There's our chassis. We'll have to take that out. So we're going to take our chassis, and we're going to, and then we'll have another piece that goes on top. The parts assembled at 2, which is that. Fasten these parts with a rubber band or some tape until glue dries. So I do have painter's tape, which we can use here and which will be helpful. So we do have painter's tape for this if needed. And so we'll do that. Let's see. Yeah, so we'll probably add some tape, and then some of this we're not using liquid cement, and some of this we are using liquid cement. So that's fine. And then we have to get our springs out, and we'll do that, our shocks. Then we'll put that in there. So we'll put piece 11 into this, looks like beforehand. So I'm going to test fit all of this, make sure I'm doing it correctly before we start adding in the cement. Because I don't want to fuck this up. And we're giving everything time to dry, right? Because I am doing this, obviously, in front of y'all, so there is room there. I can't wait around forever on things, but we also are giving things an opportunity to dry so that I am not running into issues later. So the springs will go here. And then the spring will go here. That's how that's going to look. And then I need 11, which is this piece here. Nubbins. And 11 is going to look like this with that, like this goes in like this. Wait. No. How do you work? Ah, okay. There's little holes that you fit into. That makes sense. Um, yeah, so today I was working on a project, so I won't have like a lot of anime to talk about. I only have one show to talk about, and like I said, I did stop watching it during it. When I know it's a show, or at least the manga, is something that people enjoy, but I didn't, so I was like, I'm good. And then I thought I would have at least something else to talk about today, and then I got busy, which happens. All right, so let's get this off here. Um, let's see, other things I want to chat about. I'm bummed about this. The Efret custom high grade that I pre-ordered from uh, Premium Bandai got delayed. In fact, apparently, a lot of stuff that was supposed to ship in October got pushed to November, which seems bad. That seems very bad because I was like, well, stuff that USA Gundam Store is supposed to get, like that's going to get delayed. I'm not surprised by that. We already have, the Ultimate Gear Millennium Puzzle was supposed to come out in August. It still has not shipped. Like these are things that I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But I was expecting the Premium Bandai stuff to actually be on time, more so than the other items, and I'm certainly bummed about that. Um, uh, and it makes me wonder, am I going to be getting the Ultimate Millennium Puzzle? Uh, I do know that this is a somebody I don't know personally, but I do know someone that was partnering with HobbyLink Japan, and they have the Live Lance, the Gundam Live Lance Heaven. They apparently have that, and like it's a sponsored stream, and are building that. So I'm kind of hopeful that the Barbatoris comes out this month and the Live Lance comes out in November. I mean, that's not an indication that it will, but I still have hope that it could because I would like to build them at a reasonable time. And again, who knows? Okay, so this is going to go in like this. It's going to go into the springs. This I can just adhere whenever I want, really. But I'm just doing a test fit here, and then we'll build. But yeah, that's the hope, is that that the stuff I pre-ordered, like I'm always a little bit more hopeful for USA, not for premium stuff arriving over like, I don't know, like stuff from USA Gundam Store or Gundam Planet or whatever, pre-orders like that. Like those, I'm not surprised when they don't arrive. But it is the premium stuff that I was just hoping would make it. So I'm hoping if you made some pre-orders that they're not being delayed at ridiculous lengths. But I also understand if that's the case. A bunch of kits at the Gundam Online Expo got delayed a bit too. Yeah, it just seemed like, look, it really just seems like that shit's going to happen. Like that is just shit that is going to be happening here. Everything is getting delayed. Um, it's not particularly fully Gundam related, but I will say, hey friends, start getting your Christmas gifts together, especially if it has to ship, uh, um, because everything is going to be behind this year and delayed. So if it's an item that exists already, you should just get it. Um, if you have to mail gifts on your own, you have to purchase a gift and then mail it. I would also recommend getting that shit out there as soon as possible. Get in the mail early. If you got to mail something, especially like a long distance, just be like, hey, I know this is weird, but I'm sending this to you now, because it's gonna be tough. Um, if you are going to do, if you are a Black Friday, Cyber Monday kind of person, maybe just make those gifts to yourself. Don't wait until then to pick up gifts. Let's see, when's the last Thursday of the month? Because that's for November. Yeah, because that it's not the latest, the 25th being Thanksgiving, but if you're waiting till Cyber Monday, which is November 29th, that's very late in the month. I think that's going to be bad. to wait on that long. Okay, so we can put that there. We can even just do that. And then this is gonna, this looks like this. And then this goes, where do these snap in? These snap in here. All right, I'm gonna take this apart for a second here so I can see how this goes. This looks like that. And then these actually just glue in here. Okay, so that's where that's going to glue in, and then they fit in over that. Let's see. We don't glue the springs, which makes sense because they'll just live there, and this being glued will keep everything together. There's actually not a lot of glue that needs to go in here, which is fine. Okay. Does this interfere with this in any way? No. All right, so we'll do this second. All right, I kind of know what I need to do here. The fact that I don't have to glue the springs or anything is good. Do I have to glue? Still dashes? Yeah, it's dashes. Okay. I think I'm okay on this. Let's get this piece on. And again, if something gets weird, something goes wrong here, something just is off, fuck it, I'll fix it. It's okay. We'll make it work. I'm not going to stress about any of this here. I'm just going to do my best with it. All right, so that's going to look like that. And then we want to glue. No, we don't glue those to that. Oh, okay. All right, so we might also have to do this again because, I might take my time with it and then things didn't adhere properly. But yeah, we're going to overdo that. We're going to hit this just here, and we're going to hit this here. Give this a second. Fuck it, we'll fix it in post. Yes, exactly. Exactly. We'll just, we'll figure it out as we go. We'll fix it after the fact. It'll all work out and everything will be fine. So I think this will be the harder part. We'll get that in first because it involves the springs. And this has to be lined up right so that then this part can go in. Because, yeah, I have to, like, press down on these springs here to get this part lined up correctly. And then when this is lined up correctly... Oops. Yes, again, it is annoying to get these springs to line up right. All right. We'll try it again, because that did not work out the first time. Because I don't want to put too much pressure on anything, because then it will fuck up. But I do need to put a little bit of pressure on it, because it's got these springs, so I got to get that lined up. So, a fun, delicate balance. Like that. Okay. Come on. Just do what I need you to do. Nope, that's not right. God damn it. All right. Kind of can't see from the underneath either. Like I could be like, oh, is this lined up right? Okay, I think that's right. So now I'm just going to, hello, welcome, Dunk. Welcome to the old Build With Baer Workshop. Working on a model kit. This is a glue kit. Working on the 86, the AE86 from Initial D. I tweeted this, and I got this from Gundam Planet. I believe they are currently sold out of this kit. This was a part of an anniversary release of Initial D. Um, so I believe that they are currently sold out, but they might do back orders. I don't know. All right, so while we have this going here, we're going to prep the other piece because this is just going to slip in like this. Yeah, that'll slip in like that. So we're just letting this glue do its work. And we want to make sure this glue adheres, the liquid cement, I should say, because if it doesn't, then this whole thing's going to pop off. And then when we try to put wheels on this, the wheels won't work. And then we'll have to redo it. And one of my goals for personal goals for this build is to not constantly have to fix the things that I thought were going to work out fine and then didn't work out fine. If that means putting too much liquid cement on here, that's fine. If I overdo it on the cement, that's okay. I will feel fine about that. But I'd rather being like, oh, I didn't need all that, than what is my biggest figure? The biggest model kit I have built are perfect grades. I have a couple perfect grades. The 160 scale Gundams are definitely huge. They are unbelievably large compared to other things. I have done the Wing Zero perfect grade, and I have done the Char Zaku 2 perfect grade. And of course, not of course, it's not a perfect grade, but I did a 160 of the Wing Zero, the non-grade kit. It is basically a huge high grade. So the 160 scales are definitely the biggest things that I've built. This is a 124 scale, which is a pretty good size. I mean, you can see it. It's a pretty good sized car. I don't know if they make bigger cars because I'm coming into this from the Gundam, the Gunpla side. It just so happens that I like Initial D. It was an anime that meant a lot to me. Watching in the late 90s, early 2000s. It is still probably the only car anime I've ever been into, but also there aren't a lot of car animes. So this kit was about 40 something dollars, I believe, which is pricey for a kit of its size. But considering that it's a car kit, those are often more expensive than like a Gundam or a Zoids kit or anything like that. The perfect grades, those are expensive. The perfect grade kits are very detailed and huge. So those are very, very expensive, which is why I've only built 2 of them in my life, because those are not things you can just be like on a whim being like, I'm gonna build the perfect grade XE. I'm just gonna go and, oh yeah, no, I'm not spending all that money on that. All right, I believe that we'll be ready here to move on, and we are going to work on other components that we need to build. Is this an axle? Fuck if I know. Again, car information, not my strong suit. But we're going to put on the other components here that we need to do. So we are going to remove the pieces that we need, and then we will then line it up, and then we will apply it. We'll give plenty of time for things to adhere. Pressure is always good. Obviously not enough to break anything, but to keep the pieces together to let the chemical reaction do its job. Yeah, I didn't pick up anything digitally during New York Comic Con. I was not there in person, but there were deals. But none of it stood out to me as something that I was looking to pick up. So I didn't make any purchases there. But I did buy a couple things from, I did buy some kits from USA Gundam Store. I talked about that, I believe, on Saturday. I did pick up a few things just to further the collection. Because I gotta have stuff to build, because that's how it works. I build things on stream, and then y'all watch and hang out while I do it. So I have to have things to build things. Harold says, good night. I will catch you later, Harold. Thanks for stopping in. As always, my friend, appreciate you being here. And Lastbrook says, I was kind of tempted on the figure arts figure of Teo Pai Pai they had for half off. He comes with a pillar he can ride. Mercenary Tao, Tao Pepe from Dragon Ball. And then a brief appearance in Dragon Ball Z, which I can't remember, but I believe is anime only. I don't think that's a manga. I believe that is a filler arc. Gohan, punk Gohan, while he is just hanging out as a Saiyan with blonde hair, goes on various adventures, and one of them is with Mercenary Tao. I believe that is anime only. Don't quote me on that, but I do remember. I do remember that he was briefly in Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, it's filler. Yeah, I figured it was, but he's a big Dragon Ball villain. He is, I would say, one of the more successful Dragon Ball villains in that he is a thorn in Goku's side for quite a while, even though he is definitely not as strong as Goku. He's crafty. And there's one thing Goku is not, is crafty. Yeah. Goku is obviously, even Kid Goku, incredibly strong. Dunk. I don't know the exact number of pieces for this kit. I believe we're talking about 90 pieces, if I think correctly, but I don't know the exact number. Shout says, but he's just my type. I hear you. Look, here's the thing. Does Goku need to be super clever and smart? No, he doesn't need to be that. He just needs to be Goku. Goku is very good at being Goku, so it's totally cool. It's just that also he's not, he's going to lose, wit, and he's good. Look, here's the thing. Goku's going to survive by the fact that he's stronger than most of his opponents in the Dragon Ball era. Is that people outwit him and throw things at him and leave surprises, and then he's just like, oh, was that supposed to hurt? It didn't. He gets going. Flying is cool, but riding a tree you threw into the air is even cooler. Yes, throwing a pillar or a log in the air and then jumping on it is very cool. Thank you for the follow, Carlos. You're not wrong, Glassbrook. It's very cool. In the same way that the fact that Thor flies because he throws Mjolnir and he's holding on to it, and that's how he flies canonically, is very silly, but also way cooler than any other way that he could possibly fly. It's just like, he just throws his thing with such force that he's holding onto it, so then he flies along with it. That is a very silly, wonderful thing that I've always appreciated. All right, so we're going to slowly remove these pieces. We'll do this piece second, and we will attach these components here first. We do have to do a little sanding. Yes, Carlos. Thank you very much. I don't speak Spanish, so my apologies. So I will continue to chat here in English, but I hope you can enjoy. I hope you can, follow along at least from what we're doing, if not the conversation. At the very least, you can follow along with the slow, methodical build that I am doing as I slowly try to not screw this up. We will be doing sanding right now. Important. We got to sand because this has been chromed. The liquid cement won't work as well. So we will slowly do this. I wonder if that's where the Breath of the Wild speed runners took inspiration. I mean, possibly. Weird physics in a game is certainly, been a wonderful tradition of, hey, can I do that? Is the game going to let me? Did the designers ever imagine that someone would do this? And the answer a lot of times is yeah. They were like, whatever. But certainly in the case of speedrunning, it's well documented that there are plenty of people out there who are just like, designers just said like, yeah, nobody did that. Why would we do that? You're doing that now, and it's cool. congratulations, keep doing what you're doing. But yeah, no one anticipated that someone would play it that way, which I enjoy. In the same way that there's a Sonic re-release. I don't remember which one, but a recent Sonic game got re-released, and they put in a like a new voice line that in an area that speedrunners were using to break the game, and basically be in an area where they weren't supposed to be. They added in a line from Tails that wasn't originally there. It's a line that was in the game. Colors, yes, I believe it was Colors last book, but it was basically like it's basically a bit of dialogue to acknowledge the fact that characters shouldn't be there. And it's just basically like Tails being like, I don't think this is right, or something like that. I can't remember the exact one, so I apologize. I can't remember the exact one. But I did find that very funny that they're just like, yeah, we'll just acknowledge that this is weird. Y'all are doing weird stuff. That's cool. Um, it's almost as if modeling physics, physical reality is hard. Yeah, it's almost as if it's like very difficult to do these things, and then also have the funding to properly do QA and balances and bugs and all of that. You know. Sometimes the things that are discovered, the very broken things that are discovered, they're like, what? That's weird. That never happened. That only happened because so many people are playing it. And sometimes things like that happen, and the response is, yeah, 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 we know. Yeah, we know. Yeah, that was that's a known. That's a known. That's a shippable. But it wasn't going to happen if we didn't. This game wasn't going to exist the way it does if we, if we had like, if we hadn't said, okay, well, this is a weird bug, but whatever. It only happened to 3 people, and we'll be okay. Yes, known shippable. Yes. Yeah, known shippables are a thing, and it's not laziness. I want to say that right off the bat because I hear that now and again. I don't think anybody in this chat is going to consider devs lazy. You use the L word there. Um, but yeah, I think it is. It's important to like recognize that, like, no, sometimes you just have to get a game out because you don't get to pick the deadlines. And then in some instances, you're like, hey, why is this so messed up? And the answer to that often is, for like smaller devs, is they only have so many ways they can test the game. They only have so many people that can play the game. If it's like a Steam version, because like, yeah, you can play it on a PS4 and you can play it on a PS5 and you can have like a few people play that. But PC is just like, oh yeah, no, we don't have systems like this, or we didn't have this. We could only test it so much, and which is to me, underfunded, under deadline, under resourced. Yes, indeed. Yeah, it's not about being lazy, because and often it also happens quite often that it's like, a good reason that there should be in many instances um, alpha periods and beta periods, and like maybe we should have, more games should have time where it's in early access, because then you get to like learn stuff like, and it, I talk about, we've witnessed it when Power Wash Simulator was not fun for me because there was an update, and part of that update put some slowdown in there and some freezes and made my gaming experience really poor. And it happened to enough people that they were easily like, hey, we patched it. Now, of course, if that had been the final game, if I had bought that game and that was happening, well, I probably would have gone back to it because I thought the game was interesting, but maybe I wouldn't have ever gone back to it because I was like, well, something's wrong. Maybe it doesn't like my computer. I should probably get a refund because I'm not going to upgrade my computer for this game, but I'm not having fun with it. And I'd like to think that I would say, all right, let me see if there's an update. Let me see what the devs are saying. Let me look on their Twitter, or let me look on their page here and see if they're like, what are people saying in the community. But it's also not my responsibility to do that, to be like, I want to give things a fair shake, but also if shit's not working, maybe I'm just like gonna go play something else. And I think that's fine. I think if people are like, I didn't like this, you're okay with that. That's okay. Um, I don't have so I don't have a big take on the Kotaku article that some people got real mad about that came out. And of course, when I say that, that could mean anything, really, right? Because it's a publication that puts out lots of articles, and some of them rub people the wrong way, justified or not, whatever. But the Metroid one, basically, the real thing is, so people read that. Maybe they read the headline. Maybe they read the summary that someone said on Twitter. Maybe they read one paragraph and the summary, combined the two. But the belief in some people's mind is that Kotaku wrote an article about Metroid Dread that was basically saying like, "Hey, you should pirate this game," which is not what they were saying. They were on one side of it, they were saying, "Hey, emulated version of this game looks pretty fucking rad. Check this shit out," which is stuff that people care about. And the second thing was emulation is really important to the history of Metroid because Nintendo does not make it easy for people to find out how fucking awesome Metroid is. Because it's a difficult game to find. It's difficult to find old versions of the games. They're not always on modern systems. They're not always available easily or for a reasonable price if you want to find the old ones and you got the old hardware. It's certainly difficult to find. And the article is basically like, hey, a way for us to talk about Metroid is to say that, people are running it in emulation and it looks fucking rad. Also, emulation is incredibly important to the history of this franchise, which is true because it's not always, because people like to think that, like to say like, oh, well, Metroid's always been popular. And it's like, no, there's years and years and years in between games. One of the most recent ones was bad, and that turned a lot of people. Um, there have been very good Metroid games. What would say Samus's inclusion in Smash Brothers certainly helps Metroid. And the games that are inspired by Castlevania and Metroid, the Metroidvanias of the world, certainly help with it. But Nintendo doesn't like make it convenient or easy for people who are like, I want to play a Metroid game to do that. Um, Metroid on the FDS is a novelty that'll ever be able to experience via emulation. Yeah, I mean, like, um, yeah, it's just going to be hard to replicate experiences like that um, as the years go on. Uh, Look, I'm somebody that in my past watched a lot of fan subs. And did I buy the official releases when they came out? I also did that. Did I do that for every single thing that I fan subbed in my life? No. Do I watch fan subs now? I don't. Um, Asterisk. I pay for Funimation. I have a gifted Crunchyroll premium account. I watch my anime on there. I get a Netflix subscription now and again so I can catch up on some stuff that came out on Netflix. I do what I can when I can. The exception of fan sub that I will say is sometimes there are OVAs that don't show up on Crunchyroll or Funimation. That I end up watching on an unlisted version on a YouTube page or through a torrent. That is pretty much the extent of me getting stuff like that. Do I pirate games right now? No. Asterisk. I make use of emulators for games that I also own. On this coming Wednesday, I will be continuing my Pokemon Fire Red Randomizer. It's a ROM that is literally the ROM from my copy of Fire Red that also has been modified using the Pokemon, the Pokemon Randomizer, Universal Pokemon Randomizer. I would not be able to do this run on the original game cartridge, obviously, and so I do make use of that. Do I pirate games that have been released recently? No, I don't do that. I understand why people do. I get it. Things are easier now to buy digitally, be it comics or video games or anime, whatever it is. But there are parts of the world where that's how you get those things. You don't get those things any other way. And I understand that. And that is like, I am not trying to say like, oh, you can't or whatever. I will say this. If you can get it and you could pay for it, you should do that. I can't remember what dev this was. Oh, it was Double Fine. This was years ago, right? Double Fine, when asked, like, hey, I really love Psychonauts. What's the best way to get you money if I was going to get Psychonauts? And what Tim Schafer said was, at the time, because things are different now, but certainly at the time, if you really like Psychonauts, you can go to our website and you can buy a t-shirt. Because if you buy a Psychonauts t-shirt, that is the best way to support us if you like that game. And then get it however you can. Because that at the time, there was no way to be like, I want to buy Psychonauts from Double Fine. There's just no way to do that. This is the way to do that. And I always appreciated that, like, that is what he said. Because there are things where it's like, there's just no way to enjoy that or get that or experience that right now. So if you can't, the only thing you can do is get it when you can, however you can, buy a shirt. In the same way, you can't buy an album. You like this band, you're not going to buy the album. You just know yourself, I'm not buying this album. I'm not buying it on iTunes. I'm not buying off their Bandcamp because use their Bandcamps, whatever. I can only do Spotify right now. Okay. Someday, buy one of their shirts. Pick up some merch from them. And also now, unfortunately, don't buy their shirts off their website or off them personally, but maybe now not at a concert venue, because not every venue, but lots of venues now want a cut of merch sales, which sucks. And there are some bands that say absolutely not, and there are other bands that are unfortunately not in a position to say yes or no to that, which completely fucking sucks. That is a new low. That there are bands that are just unfortunately not in a position to okay, so how's this gonna go? That are not in a position to fight that support. So you can always just ask a band what's the best way to support you. But yeah, the hope is, people are buying stuff that they like and supporting devs that they like, and none of that's going to be a problem. But unfortunately, sometimes it's just not feasible, if you say the reason why if you say, hey, I'm not legally able to purchase this in my country. I can't get this in my country. That's your reason for doing that? Sure. If your reason is I don't want to because I don't agree with the pricing model of this, or I don't agree with the choices the company has made, or I am making some big political statement, or I just don't think it's worth the money, then, that's your opinion. You just I don't want to hear that opinion. I don't want you saying that. Nobody wants to read that shit, because that's just you being like, yeah, I've decided I don't have to play by the rules. And it's just like, I fucking guess, but maybe don't. I had a conversation with their lead singer, Panther, after my first Proto Men show about how I pirated their stuff, and that's what finally got me into them. Yeah, I mean, like, look, pirating can lead to discovery, right? Like that is a thing, right? Sometimes you download a bunch of music that someone compiled together and put in a torrent of in your game group or your friend group or whatever, and then you download a bunch of MP3s and you were like, "Oh shit, this is cool. What is this?" Uh like I get that, or yeah, you're like looking on a site and you're like, "Oh, check this out." Like, hey, I read a lot of manga that is scanlation. I also buy some graphic novels, and I've been buying digital graphic novels on Bookwalker a lot lately because I have the income to do that. And it's like, yeah, I would also like to read the official translations with the proper fucking names of characters and not missing pages or, oh, the raws we got of this are very ugly looking. Sorry, we goofed up and we ended up with very ugly raws for this. We don't know what happened. Like, like that happens, and then if you can, end up with the with like people who are just like, yeah, we here are the real ones. You can just buy the real ones now. It's $10 for a huge volume. It's like, yeah, I want to do that if I can. But I also get where people like don't. I get that. I'm trying to be better about that and everything myself. The manga I'll talk about tonight, I didn't purchase the manga. Now, sometimes I also read things for free, like Viz or Shonen Jump apps, the apps that are like, here's the latest chapter of this, and here's like the first chapter, and then if you want the other stuff, you got to pay. And it's like, yeah, I'll do that. I follow along that way. Um, uh, uh, Back in the late '90s, that's how I discovered DJ Shadow and Dr. Octagon MP3s off Hotline services. Yeah, servers. Yeah, I mean, I discovered a bunch of music because of that. Now it's playlists friends make and DJ sets and all kinds of different things you can find music. But for a long time, that was the way to find music. Was just like, I don't know, somebody put together a bunch of MP3s and put it out there, and like, here's November 2013's like top whatever, and you go in and you listen to a bunch of them. And they're like, okay, cool. I'm gonna get this album later, or oh, that band. Let me check and see when if that band's coming anywhere near me. Ooh, they are. All right, I'll go check that out. That doesn't always work out, but it is cool when it does. Yeah, sometimes you get that. Oh, we're long past pause for the cause, folks. I've been working so hard on and working with glue, I didn't even realize. So we still have to do a pause for the cause, folks. We gotta do it. I didn't even realize it was 10. I should have noticed when Harold left, but that was a while ago too, I'm sure. All right. So this is brief. We're going to keep this thing brief as we can because we're going to get back to building because we're making good progress on this, and I very least want to get this together. Um, uh, if you're currently a subscriber, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the moat in the chat. Let the people know you're a subscriber here using your Prime Gaming token because you have Amazon Prime linked with your Twitch, or because you're paying $5 a month as a subscriber. Some of y'all are gifted subs. If you've been gifted a sub, you can convert that into a regular subscription, and they won't charge you until your gifted sub has ended. So you could do that if you'd like. We're currently at 41 out of 50 subscribers. I'd like to get to 50. If you would like to subscribe or gift a sub to somebody in the community, that would be rad. These are optional things that you do not have to do. All of the things I'm going to be talking about here are ways to support me that involve money that you don't have to do. But it would be fucking rad if you did. Also, I said I got the Twitch. I'm an affiliate here on Twitch. I'm also I got a Patreon. Patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10. The $3, $5, and $10 patrons just voted yesterday and today on what I'm going to be playing on Wednesday, or today actually they voted. And my Wednesday stream is going to be Pokemon Fire Red. Once a month they get to vote on that. The $1 get I tell them when I'm streaming, and also they get a Q&A. $10 get to vote on kits that I build. I do a poll pretty often. $5 get stuff early. It's small little things that I can do. I have a YouTube channel. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel for free if you want, and then also, if you want, you can. Actually, I have to check something here. Hold on one second. Sorry. That's wrong. Sorry. I messed something up here. And so we're going to have to give me a second here. I got it. Everything's good. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel for free, youtube.com/PatBear. You can join my YouTube channel if you wanted to. You certainly don't have to, but you could. Sorry, I got it there, and we're good. Okay. You could join that. It's $2 a month. You get a video 1 day early. I always put out stuff on my YouTube, constantly putting new things on my YouTube. So you can check that out at your leisure. We'll get back to building in just a minute. I just want to go through all my different ways people can support me. Direct donations. I have ways to do that because everything I make through Patreon, through AdSense on YouTube, and memberships on YouTube, and of course through subscribers here on Twitch, goes to buying model kits and equipment. So direct donations to do that as well. This was bought with funds from that, because I always put those aside. I have a savings account that's just for my all that revenue that goes directly back into buying kits, plus other money because I run out of stuff. To help me not run out of things, you could also buy something from my Amazon wish list, which I update regularly with Lego and model kits. Check that out real quick. Here I've got, like I said, Lego sets, high grades, inexpensive kits, very expensive kits, cool car kits, weird old model kits, bunch of different stuff. High grades that are, why is the Zeta Gundam $38? It shouldn't be, but it is. I don't know. It's on the wish list. Maybe you really want to see me build the MK2 AUG from Zeta Gundam. I'll build that. But yeah, I got stuff on there. There's some tools at the bottom because it's always nice. Sometimes people are like, I want to support you, Pat, but I don't know anything about model kits. So what can I buy? And I'm like, you buy this because it's neat. An alternative is you could buy me a gift card to USA Gundam Store. You go there, you buy a gift card. They send you an email with the code. You take that code and you DM me on Twitter because my DMs are open, or you whisper me here on Twitch with the code, and I will use that. And I will build, I will buy something on USA Gundam Store and build it. And both my wish list on Amazon and a gift card from USA Gundam Store, if I buy something with that, or you send me something, I'll shoot a video for my YouTube about the thing that you purchased as a thank you. And it'll jump the queue, and it'll jump ahead of the high grades and various other things I've got in my backlog. Right now it's a bunch of high grades because I have built a lot of master grades lately. Okay. A couple of videos here. I got a new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club. Every other Monday I put a new video out in Pat Bear's Anime Club looking at a theme, a topic, something in the world of anime that I want to talk about. This one is dubs that I like. Is it all classic dubs? No. Is it mostly classic dubs? Yes. But it's just me talking about that because that is a question people get a lot. I am a subs person more than a dubs person, but also I can freely admit that I like both, and I like a good dub. So that's that video. And then another one is the best of Build With Baer. These are short little video clips that I make where I am just talking about something interesting to me anyway, or fun from something on one of these streams. And this one is the revelation that AEW, All Elite Wrestling, is an isekai, a different world subgenre of anime. AEW is an isekai, and I support that statement in this video clip. All right, we're going to get back to building. I'm going to talk about anime and manga in just a second. The anime will be very short, and then the manga will be longer, and we'll get back to building. I can't believe I waited so long into 10 p.m. to do my ad read. But let's get back in. I'm going to drink a little water, and we'll talk about the anime, and then we'll talk about the manga. So, the anime that I want to talk to you about is My Senpai is Annoying. It's on Funimation, and it is a workplace slow burn romantic comedy, maybe romantic comedy. Like if it is, it's going to be slow, but basically like you got yourself a quiet, studious main character, and her senpai at work, her older, like experienced person, is loud and big and not a bad guy. And also, to me anyway, not actually annoying. And I think that's actually the part where I stopped. I was like, I didn't finish the episode, and I was like, I think I'm good with this. Is he's just gregarious and big, and they're just different. They're just different people. And I was like, I don't. Because there's an anime, I believe it's called Service H. I can't remember what it's called, but there's an anime where like there's like an annoying guy at work, and he's actually legitimately annoying, and then eventually he turns out to be a pretty good guy, and then it's like kind of dealing with that dual side of him. That is not this. Senpai is annoying, I guess, but I haven't really felt him being annoying. I think it's just that she's just different. Like they're just different people. And also, I was like, if they start liking each other, I feel like that's not going to even happen this season. Like if they actually do end up having any interest in one another, I feel like that's going to be like a real long time from now. Like it just doesn't feel like they're going to. If there is romance to this, it just does not feel like it's going to be important. So I'm like, I think I'm good. I think I'm okay with it. So, is this is just extra? Hmm. Sorry, here I'm going to be real careful about this because I think this is just extra material. No, it's not extra material. It looked like it might be extra material, but it's not. Okay. All right, so that's number 8. So 8 goes over here along with 5. All right, so basically nothing is connecting this here. So we have to build the pieces that will connect to it, and they're going to connect like this, and then they're going to layer around it. And one is going to go like this. And then where do the other parts connect? Must connect later. Oh, they go into this hole here. Okay. But that's not... Do they pop in with glue? No. Sorry. So anyway, I didn't like the show. I guess the long and short of it, okay, so it goes like this, and then there's another part that's attached on the outside, but that doesn't go anywhere? Okay. Do these get glue? Do these get glued to something? It's going to go... Oh, there's a hole there. Okay. They get glued on the front. Doesn't look like the front gets glued. Looking at this here, it doesn't. So this piece doesn't get glued. Okay. First, I have to connect these two components here. So we'll do that first, and then we'll move on from there. Goes like that. That okay, goes like that. All right. So let me glue this. Oops, I'm hooked. Um, let me get manga time ready while I do this gluing here, because I would like to finish this step. But I can talk about some manga. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to keep watching my senpai's annoying. I am going to get caught up on the vampire dies in no time, and I'll talk about the other episodes later because that is good. But let's talk about some manga. I came to another world as a jack of all trades and a master of none to journey while relying on quickness. Not a great manga, but I like this. So the reincarnation or travel to a new world. Obviously, I talk about them a lot on stream. I've certainly had my fair share of them, and most of the time, when I'm talking about these kind of things, it is because there's something about it that appeals to me. I like these kind of action shows. I enjoy them. This one is actually very boring and very generic. There's nothing that stands apart from it. The only thing that's kind of interesting is that usually the main character is either incredibly overpowered or very underpowered and has to use their wits. This one is neither. His overpoweredness is the fact that he is good at everything, but not great at anything. So he's not like OP. He's literally a red mage. He is a jack of all trades. He is a master of none. He can do everything pretty well, and that is surprising. But it's not like he is one-shotting a demon lord. He's doing his best. So I kind of like that, but at the same time, I don't really. I'm not like, ooh, this is so good. It's more like, oh, that's interesting. So that's kind of where I'm at with that particular show, is that I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And I'd rather be blown away by something. Okay, this is the fasten these parts with tape, which we're not going to do, but we could do. We could fasten these parts with tape to help with the gluing process. We're just going to use a lot of pressure instead. All right, so we got to do the same thing on this side, which we'll do here. Liquid cement, and then attach it. The other, I got 3 things to tell you about here. The other one is Demon Fist Daydreamer, which is pretty interesting. Our dude gets reincarnated. He's born. He is but he is abandoned and does not have, and luckily he is taken in by a succubus. And he, through basically, which is really interesting, is like, he was reborn, but his mother passed away. So the succubus, he wasn't actually born. He was still in the womb. The succubus basically transferred him into her. So he is technically, she's kind of like his mother. And also like, which is just weird. So then he has succubus powers because he's not fully human. And then he goes on a journey because she's just like, hey, you're old enough, you're trained enough, now go out there and become an adventurer, and come back and tell me tales. Here's the thing. He didn't learn magic spells because that's not his style. But he does have, because he is the son of a succubus, a lot of magic power. But he only knows like really close. He doesn't know like fireball. But he's got all this mana. So what does he do? Well, he knows how to use body enhancement magic, and body enhancement magic doesn't wear off for him because he's so full of mana. So then he just punches and kicks things. And that's his fighting style. And where I left off with the manga, he had met someone and as a partner that like knew things, but she's in debt, and she may end up betraying him, or she may choose not to betray him and thus betray him, or run into some issues, or need rescuing. I don't know, but it's not my favorite story that I've read, ever, but it's kind of interesting. I will classify it as it's pretty neat. But again, it's not the greatest thing I've ever read. But it was different, and so I appreciate that it was different. What is pretty different in a way that I really liked, because it is very sweet. There's action, but it is also a very sweet show or story. Is the Elf and the Hunter's item Atelier. Which is kind of a love story and kind of a slice of life, but also there's action. So it's doing a lot. All right, I'm gonna try to get some good lighting here for this. I gotta put this piece in here and then push this down. And we're going to do one side and then we'll do the other. And I'm just going to leave a lot of pressure on here while we do this, because hopefully that will work out. Put a bunch of pressure on this. Hopefully all work out. And then we'll do the other, same with the other side. So there is a elf who makes potions and items. She's like, I love her. She's got little glasses. She's really short. She's a tiny little elf. She's not like the beautiful lithe elf you're imagining. She's like the size of a dwarf, I guess, like in fantasy. And she is adorable and great. And she just makes items. And she's got a dude that hangs out with her, a human guy that is her personal, uh, basically like adventurer, her gatherer, her slayer of monsters, her item acquirer. And they live together and they are cute, very cute together. And it's very clear that there's possible romance happening with the two of them. It's very slow and sweet. And it is definitely confirmed in the story that she saved his life, and he was like, "Hey, at some point, I'm going to be strong enough to help you. I'm going to become really strong, and then and I'll be able to be by your side and support you." Well, we don't quite know what's happening with that. I mean, he's very strong, and he keeps getting stronger. But there's probably something fucked up happening behind the scenes as why he's so strong, why he is an incredibly strong human. So, like, shit might be happening there. Like, there might be problems. And I haven't read a lot of it, but I loved what I've read so far. The elf and the hunter's item, it's Atelier. It's an item shop. She just has a place, and yeah. I think it's fucking neat as hell, and they're cute. Like there's a lot of hugging in it, just like a lot of like. At some point, they realize that physical contact is something that they both really want, even though they were like both like weird about it. And it's very cute that they're just like, no, we hug. I guess we hug a lot. Okay, it's just very very cute and very very into the two of them together. That's lovely. Now's the part of the stream where I ask you, hey folks, what you watching? What you playing? What you up to? I'm playing a lot of Hearthstone still. Still playing. I got a new mage deck, a big minion mage deck, the scam mage that I'm playing, a wild scam mage. I have a wild scam mage and I have an elemental regular standard scam mage, and I'm playing both of them, and both of them are very good, and I'm having a great time with both scam decks. I'm just and by scam I mean that basically I'm playing some stuff to get wins kind of out of nowhere. It's not cheating, but it isn't like I'm not like I'm not playing like a slow conservative game. I am either winning because I pulled some bullshit with some nonsense cards that it worked out for me, or I'm losing because I tried to make a big play and failed miserably. So that's my current Hearthstone time. I'm still playing. I'm still enjoying the game. Obviously, Blizzard and Activision need to face actual consequences for their terrible actions. But at the moment, I enjoy this one video game that they make. Still, haven't put money into it in years, but still, I do enjoy it. Which is not great for me, but that is where I'm at. I don't know why that. Sorry, Captain. Will allow that. I don't know why that they were like sucked me. You can't say that. Whatever. Nightbot is great, and sometimes Nightbot is overprotective, and that's okay. Sometimes Nightbot is just like needs to fucking chill out. Anyway, Lord Crashington says, I've been playing a bunch of Rocket League lately. Hell yeah. Recently, I changed the song that plays when I score goals to Smash Mouth All-Star, which, I mean, why wouldn't you do that? You know, why wouldn't you go with All Star? Um, and then Captain Andy Pan says, Stardew Valley has sucked me in once again. Hell yeah. Though I'm extremely excited for Metroid Dread. Also, hell yeah. I don't have a Switch, so I cannot partake in the dreadness, but I am excited for my friends that are playing because that is rad. Especially when my friends are excited about a game, I'm also excited about a game. Okay, so before we do this liquid cement here, we are going to we're going to scuff this up because we are doing with this chrome here. So we're going to do a little scuffing so that we can then apply this to here with liquid cement and it won't fall off. This fell off constantly in the last kit that I built of this. It's not a perfect connection. So we are going to really, really glue it when we put this in. And then we'll also really glue this and we're going to scuff this up as well here because this is going to go. This goes like this. That. We're not going to glue that part, but the other parts here, we're really going to give some glue, liquid cement. But we'll first scuff it up. Just been grinding through the story of Final Fantasy XIV so I can get the car from Final Fantasy 15. Hell yeah. Very funny. I like the idea of like, oh yeah, I'm doing some grinding in the game. You know, I gotta get myself a car. Gotta get myself an actual real car for Final Fantasy 14. It's important. I get that. All right, let's put some liquid cement on here. It's a nice car, says Aristophan. Aristophan, I'm not saying it's not a nice car. I just think it's very funny that that's what you're grinding for. That just makes me laugh. No shade, no no issues on my end with that. I think it's just funny. All right, as I said, this piece came off a lot on the last kit that I built like this. So we'll hopefully not run into that this time. We're gonna really. Oh, okay. We're just gonna let this sit next to each other for a little bit, and hopefully it'll hear and work. Then we'll move on from there. But it's not lining up right. There it is. Gonna let this look. Hopefully, get it here. Working my way through Tales of Arise. It's been a fun anime story. I've heard very good things about this Tales. It's been a long time since I played a Tales, but I got a lot of love for the franchise, and I'm glad you're having a good time with it. Yeah, this is not wanting to work here. So let's we'll liquid cement it here, and then try to get this connected here. If you're working with liquid cement like this, one thing gotta recommend, folks, uh, just hey, wash your hands after. I mean, wash your hands all the time, especially in these days. But also, if you are doing something like this, you just gotta you gotta wash your hands when you're doing stuff. This might not attach here. Um, if it doesn't, I will do it off stream. Yeah, this is not making a good solid connection here. I don't know why. I'm going to hold it for a little while longer and see if I can get it. But if not, I will scuff it up even more off stream and try to get it ready for the next stream. I might even grab a toothpick or something, just kind of bridge a gap between the two. Um, it's also kind of comical because it's so big in Final Fantasy 14. That's rad. But yeah, you want to make sure your hands are nice and clean before when you're using these kind of chemicals after the fact. All right, so that's not working. So we'll at least get this adhered to the car, and then another time I will try to get this working here. There. Put some on here. This should hold really easily because it is nice hole there for it. A nice peg for it to live in. Shouldn't be a problem. He says that as he stumbles to get it to work. Okay. We're going to put that there. And we're just going to hold this until it adheres. And then, yeah, for some reason, I'm not getting a good connection here on this here. But I'll do my best. Might have to just get some tools, scrape this out a little bit. I can also let this dry and then attempt it again. Yeah. Not making good contact. I do remember having an issue with this before, so I'm not fully surprised that this is giving me trouble. That is going to be a lot of this build, is me being like, huh, that's not working right. Well, what if I try it like this? Oh, okay, that worked. Or, oh, I thought I had connected those properly, but now that I've put the wheels on, it's very clearly not fully connected. Yikes. Oh, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. The next time I'm going to build it, this is actually going to be on Thursday, because on Wednesday, I will be doing continuing my run of Pokemon Fire Red randomizer. We just beat the Lightning American Surge, the gym leader, so we'll be continuing on our way. We can use Cut, so that's big. So that'll be on Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, but then Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, we'll be continuing this build. This is definitely not going to stay on, but at the very least, it is partially attached, and that is better than it was. So yeah, on Thursday, we'll move on to step 6, which is wheels. We're going to start wheels now because we're not ready to end the stream. I am prepping for the next conversation, but we have our only poly caps here. So we'll be attaching poly caps, and then we'll be attaching the wheels to the tires. This car does not roll around. It is a fixed kit because it is, you can play with it, but it's not going to drive down the street. So we will be using liquid cement on this here to adhere these wheels. And we're going to start with the front because it's had longer to dry. And I'm also more confident that I've done this properly on the front. So, well, yeah, we're going to be putting wheels on here. So we got to do front wheel here. And then our rims, we got to get our rims. That's a word I know from cars. I know rims are a thing. So that's fun. And yeah, our only poly caps, which are just going to be there. And here are our wheels. They're left, front, and rear, which is great because this is going to be, yeah, the front of it. Oh, is there also a piece that I'm going to be attaching? Wait, is that right? Wait. Oh, okay, that's the front. That's just, oh, body color. That wants me to color the body. No, that's a piece. What piece is this? It doesn't have a number labeled on it, but... Oh, okay. I'm turning it over to do this. Duh. Now I understand. I'm doing it like this. That's why I was like, this doesn't look right, because I was looking at the car upside down. Hooray! Well, we'll find out if everything's attached right when I do this. So yeah, we got the front and the rear. We're going to do the front first. We'll do the front tires, and then we'll do the rear tires. Everything will be fine. This is like this is a different kind of plastic. This particular plastic feels differently. It feels, I don't know how to describe it. It's got like a gloss finish to it. It's a little different, but whatever. We won't see that part because we are going to be putting liquid cement on it. So, all right. So first we got to do a little dab in here, there, and we'll put the polycap in. Oops. got to get the polycap in because the polycap is what's going to attach this to the wheel here. So we got to make sure we do that right. Because if this piece is not properly connected and properly adhered to the inside of the wheel, then we are going to run into a problem. Grab my tweezers here. One of my many tools. There we go. All right, we'll let those set, and then we'll do this here. Like, oh, Pat, you're going to glue these together? That way the wheels won't turn. It's like, yeah, they're not supposed to. It's fine. All right. That. And then do this. We don't have to go super hard with it because, like I said, it'll work out fine. Tires aren't going to go anywhere. The most important thing is the poly cap being connected. All right, so these are the front wheels. We'll let those dry while we get the back wheels ready to go. Okay. Yeah, Wednesday, excited to gotta do some sick drifts with this thing. Yeah, no, unfortunately, the question, we're not gonna be drifting in this. But yeah, Wednesday, I'm excited to play Pokemon. My patrons decided that is what they would like to see me do from the options that were available. The following Wednesday, we'll play Jackbox Party Pack 8 because that's coming out at the end of this week, but it is not in time for a Wednesday stream, and I'm not getting it early or anything, so that'll have to be next week, which is fine. Fine that we're playing it next week because I'll be able to watch other people play it, and I'll know how the games work because I have not watched that much of. I've watched very little prep for it. I know the one about the animation. I don't know if that's the one we're gonna do. I think that'll be interesting. I just don't quite understand how it works. So I do want to try it. But I haven't watched like people play all of the games yet. So that'll come. And then when everyone's played all the games, I'll be able to be like, these are the ones we should be checking out and playing. Because there's always like two I really like, one I kind of like, and then one that like is great, but only if everyone's in the same room and everyone's on mic, and one that isn't good. And that is unfortunately the Jackbox experience. There's always one that I'm like, this didn't work. Sometimes the party packs don't have that. They don't have the one that isn't good, but they often do. Or they have like two that are like, this is fun, but you need to be able to hear people talk, and it doesn't work. Like, this isn't going to work in the environment of our personal stream, my personal streams. All right. So the tires, we don't have to. Wait. Oh, we do have to glue those. Okay, so we are going to put glue on here when we attach them. So we'll do the front two first, and then we'll do the rear two. And we're just going to hope I did this right. All we can do is hope. Then hope that while I'm doing this, I don't knock anything out. Okay. I don't have to put a lot of pressure here, luckily. I'm just putting some cement here. And also, I really don't need a lot. Because this is weight-based, but it's not like the wheels are going to be turning. So you don't have to, like, really force it together here. Also, I don't really have to force it together because it is a peg going into a hole as opposed to two pieces of metal adhering together. Like that. So if I can get this lined up right, it should slide in and then it won't cause me any issue. And I say that with one of these not working. There we go. Put a little bit more cement on there. Great. Tire. We're going to let those sit here and dry a little bit, and then we'll do the back ones. We are going to raid at the end of this stream. That is a thing that we do at the end of every stream, is we go on a raid and to share the love and hopefully find somebody doing something cool out there that we want to go hang out with and be a part of. So we will go and raid. So please come along on that as we finish this up. Come back on Wednesday. Come back on Thursday. Wednesday for games. Thursday for more of this. All right, nice and easy. You got this. Why are you being weird? Try this wheel. All right, this wheel does not want to go on anybody. Does not want to go on easy. Don't know why this wheel is so annoying, but it is. Yeah, because this went on. All right, it is on. It's just not as on as the other ones. That is on. Great. So we're done with this. We've got, look at this. We got an undercarriage. We have wheels. We're building a car. I'm building a car with plastic. That's cool. I'll take a photo of this, and then I'm going to let this air dry. I'll take a photo from the underside here. The stuff we won't really see. But we are going to go on a raid. We're going to go find somebody kick-ass and cool to go hang out with. So we do this here, and then we'll go and find somebody to hang out with. Okay, let's see. All right, well, we got to go hang out with Xandra. Xandra hung out with us on Saturday. Xandra is playing Horizon's Gate, so we will go give Xandra some love. So feel free to come along on this stream. Xandra rules. It's Thanksgiving in Canada. And Xandra is Canadian, so we will go give thanks to Xandra for being rad. Xandra also made all of my emotes in here. She's an excellent artist, so we'll go, hang out with her for a bit. Thanks so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your Monday. I hope you'll come back on another stream. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here. I hope everyone had a good time or an okay time, because it doesn't have to be great, but I hope it was good. And I'll see you in the next time. So thanks so much for being here. Have a great night, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Let's raid.